I think funding for education in general is difficult, but in charter schools we have some additional problems. One example is the holdback situation.
For every dollar we're spending, we're suddenly only getting 60 cents back during the current year with the promise that next year we'll pay you back. I mean, that was a serious problem for us.
We've made commitments to students, parents, and teachers to provide a high level of education. And unfortunately, with the state of the economy and the state of deferrals, we find ourselves having to find different options.
Starting the relationship with Charter School Capital is different from what we have experienced with other financial institutions, in that they're very focusing on the viability of the school going forward relative to the charter.
They have educators on staff, they understand the process, they understand what running the school means. So they were different than any other lender that we had talked to. That was refreshing and important.
That's something I think that is probably different with most banks, is that they really haven't gotten the message that charter schools are a dynamic small business.
You know, banks, financial institutions, and that seems to me like an awful lot of work and an awful lot of effort. We have bigger fish to fry. We're trying to educate kids. And Charter School Capital has always stated to us, in one way or another, we believe in you.
Their commitment to the industry of charter schools is unsurpassed. I don't know anybody else out there doing that, okay? And that's very, very important.
I'd never looked at selling receivables previously. But once I understood what it was and how we were going to guarantee our money, then it became a pretty easy process.
This helped us to stay afloat, to be able to stay in business for our teachers and all the employees to have the confidence that when I go to work, I can give my all and know that at the end of the period when I'm supposed to get my check, it will come on time.
They pay us the money up front, and then we have the money to pay our teachers, to buy our textbooks, to keep the place clean, and to keep the whole school running.
There isn't all the legal compliance. Once the receivable is sold, it's sold, and that's it. So it's just much a simpler, cleaner process than a lot of the other options.
Unless somebody is going to create vehicles in order for charter schools to really grow and have access to cash, then I'm going to open my arms up to any investors and any business that is going to make greater opportunities for our kids to have more schools, have more books, hire teachers, and all the things that we want to do.
The amount of time you have to spend convincing a skittish banker that you are worth taking the risk on is time that you don't spend focusing on your real needs. And that to me is fundamentally one of the structural values of financing by sale of receivables. That's a wonderful model.
I view them as a close partner. It's never been a doubt for me that Charter School Capital is deeply concerned, deeply interested in the well-being of schools.
We've been working with Charter School Capital now for 4 years, and throughout they've been flexible and they've been very professional, and they've allowed us to stay focused on our students.
The knowledge that it's a partnership long-term was very, very important. I don't know how you can run a school when you never know if next year I'll get that funding or not.
They want schools to be healthy financially and otherwise, because at the end of the day, who they serve and who we serve are the same people.
They're very professional. They want to get you what you need.
They spent a lot of time at our school. They got to know staff members, they got to know students, and they worked with us. They seem to be proud of our accomplishments, as any one of the members of our community would be.
It was more than just writing us a check. We had a very good relationship during the years that we've been using Charter School Capital.
If we weren't able to find an organization like Charter School Capital who was willing and able to provide the funding that we needed, I can't imagine we would have survived.
They have been a lifeline because they have come through for us at times when we needed them most, and they have done things in a certain timing that other institutions have not been able to do.
We need them, we need them desperately. And I could see where any charter school under these conditions would need charter school capital to keep their school alive.
And I think it was a good business decision. And as a result, we've been able to move our children where they need to be academically.
If it wasn't for charter school capital, we would not be here today. We would not be serving those kids that need it really bad.
I think we've served another 2,000 students in the last 2 years because of the availability of cash flow financing. Those are 2,000 kids that could go on to cure cancer or do something really great in our society.
I think they're interested in making sure that charter schools are successful, and that's an important piece to me.
Based on all the options that were available to us, charter school capital was the best option.
In the end, that is why we're all here, and the bottom line is, if this option was not around, there'd be a lot of kids that would not be able to participate in their local charter school because their local charter school would not be open.